All right, I believe that we're live and we're feeding out to the folks. Please do smash those thumbs ups and ring the bell. Let us know how the audio, all that kind of stuff is coming through. If there's any issues, best for us to get it fixed up right now. In case you guys don't know it yet, this is going to be a nerdy show. I see Smash Time saying, "Oh, this will be a good show." I agree with him. Big shout out to Smash Time. This is going to be a nerdy show. So let me do this. Let me remind everyone to go to hankstrange.com, sign up for our email list there. We've got Lola's deals. Lola's always sharing deals with you guys. There's lots of links there. If you go through those links, you can get some stuff at a good price. Send a couple of shekels in our direction as well, which we appreciate. Helps support the show. If you're looking for the different platforms that we're on, you can find that under Strangerholics. I probably do need to go through there and update some things, and if you all want to talk about that, we could definitely get into it. We've also got a link to US Law Shield. Check that out. You should have protection for your protection when you protect yourself. Check out US Law Shield. If you're going to do an annual membership, you can save some money, plus a couple of shekels will go in our direction from there as well. And you know what? Here on the Who Moved My Freedom. Oh, hold on a second. We got someone else coming in. Let me just let him in here. Okay, so listen. A long time ago, in a galaxy far, far away, the Empire was trying to ban pistol braces and redefine what a firearm is. And the Rebel Alliance turned to the #1 freedom and Second Amendment podcast on the face of the planet. Yes, the Who Moved My Freedom podcast. Exactly that is what you guys are watching right now. The Who Moved My Freedom podcast. Let me throw everyone up in the screen here. It's going to be a fun show. Let me smash the open and get into it right now.
Welcome back to the Hank Strange Situation.
All right, guys, don't forget to hit that
Lifestyles
subscribe
of a
button,
Walk
smash
and
those thumbs ups, ring the bell. Let me see, where's the bell? Ring the bell so you can be notified when we go live. We are live. Okay, we've got a new guest here. We've got Vinh Nguyen. Is that am I saying it right? Vinh Nguyen?
Nguyen.
Vinh Nguyen.
Yeah.
Okay, there you go. Vinh Nguyen joining us, as well as let's see who else we got. We got two Richards today. We got FlyingRich and Rich Hoffman of BWE. Let's see the jazz hands. Let's start right there with the jazz hands. Come on with the jazz. You got to do the jazz hands, Vin. There you go. All right. I hope you guys have your big girl panties on tonight. It's gonna be a fun show. We're gonna talk about some cool things here. This is podcast episode 775. The title is 3D Printing for Everyone with our guests Vinh Nguyen, FlyingRich, and Rich from BWE. What's up, gentlemen? How's everyone doing?
Good.
Good,
How you doing?
good. So
Pretty good.
3 of us have printed things. 1 of us has not.
Oh, I see. This is you're trying to get at me already early in
We're
the podcast.
We're 3D shaming. Yeah.
Yes.
Aw,
These three.
I'll
Yeah,
do that
these.
to him.
Yeah, this is FlyingRich. This is how he does. You know,
That's how I roll.
Yeah, he might have
He's
not.
a dick.
Yeah, well, exactly.
Am I wrong?
No.
And Vin, if you don't know Richard Hoffman specializes in machining and marital therapy.
Oh,
Yes.
okay. So wait,
Oh,
is that
okay.
some kind of sex device? I don't know. Okay, hold on. Listen, we'll get into intros here in a second. I want to do a big shout out. Let's see if we can get this to Barnauls. Barnauls sponsors the podcast. They make performance steel case ammunition like this subsonic 9mm, and lots of other kinds of good ammo out there from Barnauls. So shout out to those guys. Shout out to everyone in the chat. Make sure you guys smash the thumbs ups, ring the bell, share this if you haven't shared it. I would ask you nicely and politely, please share. Sharing is caring. Okay. Thanks to the folks out there who are doing that. For everyone watching us, let's see. Oh, Gun Doctor TV is out there as well. Shout out to him. One of the Joshes from Black Diamond Guns and Gear. Lots of people from the IV 8888 thing. So it's either Josh. It's either. Let me see. It could be Big Josh, Little Josh, Other Josh, maybe Brother Josh. There's like 10 Joshes over at Black Diamond Guns and Gear. If you guys don't know. Yeah. So we can get into all of that here as well. I see Shooting Gallery NE out there. Let's see. And Lola Strange says you are starting early, Flying Rich, no holding back. I see. Oh, you got in trouble.
It's
with
been
Lola.
a while. I got a lot to get in.
Yeah. So listen, let's do this. Let's start. Yeah, CB says IV 88, 88, 88, 88. So yeah, I did meet this young gentleman here at IV 88, 88, 88. Vin, tell the folks out there. Yeah, you weren't there, so that's why I'm making the intros right now. Vin, tell the folks.
You said you met this young man.
Okay, have you looked in the mirror lately? Apparently, another person. Neither one of these riches takes their freaking medication. Yeah, let's start with Vin. Vin, tell the folks who you are, what you do. I don't really know you that well, other than I did meet you at the IV88 event.
Well, it's a pleasure and a privilege to be here on your show, Hank. My name is Vinh Nguyen. I'm a software engineer by day, illustrator by night, and I just so happen to fall into the gun engineering, 3D printed gun community just by making a Twitter and then happening to see some 3D printed guns. That's how I got started with the movement. I don't know if you can see it on my wall back there, but at the very, very top, I can move my finger right. That thing, that's the revolver, Heritage Rough Rider revolver turned into a rifle. It's a 16-inch version, and that was my claim to fame. But anyways, yeah, I'm just your everyday gun guy who happened to find a printer and find some guns and make crazy stuff for it.
Yeah, I'm gonna roll in some video of that revolver right now because when I saw you with this thing, I was like, okay, this right here, I want to talk to this dude because I love these kinds of things. So hold on, let me see if I can get this video playing here. Okay, here we go. Come on. Here we go. All right, so let's see. Come on, do it. And no, it's not doing it. Oh, man. Okay, for some reason my phone won't connect to this thing. Let's see if I can just... Yeah, it's so ridiculous. Okay, here we go. Let's see if I can show it this way. This is so old school, and it's then not
this
definitely
is pretty
not
low tech, Hank.
Yeah. What?
It's not focusing.
And it's not. Here we go. There we go. So check this thing out right here. This is what Vin is talking about. My apologies. If you go check my Instagram or a whole bunch of things, Facebook /Hank Strange, you'll see all of this, and you can get the audio and all that kind of stuff too. So this was really cool. I'm really mad that my something is up. There goes Vin. All right, so that's Vin. That's what he does. He does other cool things like that. You know, we also have Flying Rich in here, and we've got Richard Hoffman. So, Rich, why don't you tell everyone, in case they don't know, who you are, what you do, what's your qualifications to be on here talking about 3D printing?
Oh, me, Rich?
Yes, you, Rich.
Or the
sorry.
other Rich?
No. Okay. Yeah.
Let's
see. Should I assign you guys Crazy Rich and Extra Crazy Rich? You would be Extra Crazy Rich. So is that?
I'm Extra Crazy Rich.
Yeah, the Extra Crazy one. Yeah, go ahead. Tell. Huh?
I've been tested. I'm not crazy.
Oh, okay.
Nuts.
That's the first.
Crazy.
Yeah, the first sign. The first sign right there. Yeah. So tell people what you do, Rich.
Well, I, manufacture parts. I'm a gunsmith by trade. Got into the parts business for the money. You can see some of my equipment behind me. Here, I'll show you my other equipment.
Yeah, there's lots of. So Vin, yeah, Rich, you've been doing this for what, 30-something years?
I graduated gunsmith school in, oh God, when did I graduate? 86. Okay. And I've been doing it ever since.
Yeah. So, so far as 3D printing, you just recently started, right? Because I was looking at, you put up an Instagram post about this. It's BWE Firearms, Vin, if you want to check it out. He put up his first thing, so it's somewhere in there.
And I hate this, Hank. This just sucks trying to figure out where stuff is. There we go.
Yeah, BWE Firearms up there. Yeah. Where's that thing you 3D printed? It's behind you. It's not complete, right?
Yeah,
it's just
right.
it's just a piece of plastic.
I don't know if I'm allowed to touch it or not.
Isn't it just a piece of plastic? There's no barrel in it or trigger or anything like that.
There's nothing in it.
I think you could show it. Let's just show it off here for a second. This is not a gun, YouTube minders. It's just a piece of plastic. There's nothing in it. It's not functional. Can't hurt anybody.
See, no guts in it.
Yeah, except maybe some dolphins.
And is that a Glock mag?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what is this you were trying to 3D print?
It's a frame for a Tech 9. And mostly I'm starting to work on a project, which I can't say much about because I don't want it out there yet.
Okay.
A lot of that going around.
Yeah, you're working on a project.
Yeah.
You know what? My psychic powers told me it has something to do with a Tech 9. I don't know.
Actually, no, it doesn't. I mean, that's one of the projects, but that's not.
Uh-huh.
I'm working on designing a game changer firearm, pistol caliber carbine.
Oh, okay.
You know, it's going to be a game changer.
Yeah.
And I want to use a Glock mag in it.
Okay, cool.
Well, I don't want to, but you know,
that's what everyone
probably
demands.
the best thing to use.
Yeah.
In it,
when I posted that,
everybody has them.
Right. When I posted that video of Vin's gun, the Space Gat, that's the first question someone asked. Does it use Glock mags?
To take Glock mags?
Yeah. So
yeah.
that's a meme now. And let's go to FlyingRich. Okay. So you know, Rich, you've been 3D printing for a while. You want to tell the guys what kind of stuff you get up to 3D printing wise?
Yeah, you know, I think you're just completely evil if you print anything to have to do with firearms. So here is, this is an Odroid HC1 with, you know, custom cooling and fan cover and all that bit. Mm-hmm. You know, and this is not a firearm either, but here's a jig so you can drill out a hunk of aluminum with precision.
Right, nice.
And then this is just a paperweight.
Uh-huh.
And it would take a Glock mag, Glock 9mm mag.
Mm-hmm.
And this was a broken paperweight, and it would take, you know, like an AR mag.
How long have you been 3D printing stuff?
You know, I kind of took a hiatus on 3D printing. So I built an ANET, whatever, A8, I don't know how many years ago, and for a couple of years I just stopped printing. Mm-hmm. And I got back into printing. I got an Ender 3. I used to do a podcast on 3D printing with a number of other guys. Mm-hmm. And I got back into it because I was carrying like an LCP2 and an LC9S, and I wanted to print a frame that would have a left-handed mag release. And I have no issue using guns with a right-hand mag release, but I pocket carry, and I would bump the mag release and eject it.
Okay.
I've now got a SIG P365, so I kind of stopped on that project. Mm-hmm. But I still have those other firearms that I may circle back to it, just to use a phrase, and complete that project. But in the meantime, you've seen the Keltec P50?
Mm-hmm.
I'm working on the Fraz P200.
Oh, boy. Yeah. Okay, so listen, I just wanted to get everyone to introduce themselves here so you can see if you're coming in, you're like, okay, what qualifications do these guys have to talk about 3D printing? I don't have any. As Rich alluded to earlier, I don't 3D print anything, but I am a fan of 3D printing. I've had Control Pew on here and some other folks out there, and we're going to continue to do this. So that's why we kind of put this together. I wanted to get Vin on here as well because he's made up some really cool things, which is what I think is the awesomeness of this whole thing. So where do we want to start? Vin, is there like a particular place that you want to start, get into this whole thing? You know, while I'm waiting to see if people have questions.
Well, yeah, the board's kind of open to whatever, you know, you and your audience want to ask about printing. Mm-hmm. You know, I mostly work in just PLA plus. That's pretty much the only thing I print in. I'm definitely looking to explore more exotic filaments too.
Okay.
I actually just unwrapped an Ender 5 Plus, so it's actually printing right now, and it's it was pricey, but if you are fortunate enough to live in like a place that is a civilized area that has advanced civilization, basically a micro center, my tip is that you can get open box and get a good deal on a open box, but mostly complete printer. Because
Okay.
I mean, if you're printing, you're tinkering anyways.
Yeah. So Ender 5, what does that cost? Or what is it? Ender 5 Pro, you said?
This is the Ender 5 Plus.
Plus.
I think
Okay.
it retails for 600. I picked it up open box for 500, I think.
Mhm.
So
Sweet.
Okay.
What was anything missing?
no, not all. There was a head crash with the bed, but I mean, that's just a replace the nozzle kind of thing.
Okay. What's a head crash off the bed for us uninitiated?
So it's when you're misconfiguring, you're setting up a printer, you configured it wrong, and you have the nozzle crash into the bed.
Okay.
And you could have just the stop set wrong, and like I don't know the Ender 5 how much you have to build and how much is pre-built for you.
Mm-hmm.
But there's, depending on the printer, like I have an Ender 3, and so there's just a micro switch when the print head comes down. Just a general thing for people that, some people have an issue understanding 3D printing. So something like what Richard Hoffman's doing forever is, subtractive. You take a hunk of metal and you machine a part out of it, so you're removing material. 3D printing, for people that don't get it, I think the best explanation is it's like a robot arm with a hot glue gun or a caulking gun, laying down a little bead of filament, melted filament.
Yeah, I think that's probably a good one. What printer, since we're on the subject of printers, what printer do you have, FlyingRich?
So I've got two Ender 3s, one still in the box. I've got the ANET A8 that I've heavily modified and kind of stopped using. I want to get the second Ender 3 up and running because we're working on a project, and the parts are taking like 20 hours a piece.
Yeah.
So it'd be nice if I had two of them running simultaneously.
Yeah. So FlyingRich is my official 3D printer right now. And he's he can do some stuff. I don't know. This is one of your early things recently. Right here that I have here. Let's see what Richard Hoffman, BWE Rich, what's your printer? I'm gonna let you brag on that a little.
I've got one of the Matter Hackers Pulse printers, and that was I was told to get that and talk to the guys at Keltec, and they have I think they've got 10 of them now that they're running almost 24/7 making parts on. And it's got all the upgrades to run carbon fiber filament.
Okay, cool.
Well, I can run the carbon fiber and I can run, anything else too.
Yeah.
But
so, and that's a
little bit more money, and it's that stage between a commercial printer and I lost my mind.
Right. It's
commercial and prosumer.
Kind of prosumer.
In the commercial. It's the low end industrial printer. It's kind of the very bottom or the very top, depending on how you look at it.
Right.
But it's a decent printer.
Yeah. What I was gonna say is, for someone like yourself, who obviously is making guns and has been making guns for a while, that's probably not a bad place to jump in. Although probably, like, if someone else out there just wanted to get into this from nothing, the best thing is like an Ender Pro 3 or something, right? That's what I hear everyone says.
Yeah, and the thing is...
Go ahead, Rich.
Go ahead, Rich.
Amazon, I didn't want a second Ender 3 necessarily, but they had, it was like $165.
Okay.
So I was like, crap,
you gotta
jump in on that.
Yeah. Right.
The barrier of
and I
entry
needed
is just
tax
so low.
write-off.
Yeah, the barrier of entry is low. Is that what you're saying, Ben?
Yeah, it's gotten. I thought 200 was the baseline for getting in. Now that's 160. That's like most certainly accessible to anyone who wants to start printing.
Yeah. And there's a bunch of questions coming in. So BWE, Did you wanted to make a point there before I asked you this question, right? Or did you get that out?
I think I got it out.
Yeah. So we caught Richard in the middle of like Richard was not so Richard Hoffman was not planned to come on, but I thought it would be cool for him to come on because he makes stuff and we're talking about making things and guns and he's getting into 3D printing, so I figured it would be cool for him to talk to FlyingRich or talk to Vinh. I saw that when you were making you did your first print, I think that was like a gun thing and you had some issues with it. So I want to talk about that as well as whatever else you guys want to talk about. American Freedom Outdoors, though, is asking you, BWE, how much would you charge if you were going to make a 3D printed carbon fiber handguard for an AR-15?
I have no idea.
Yeah, but I don't think you'd want that because the material probably isn't going to be strong enough. And I don't mean to... Richard, I'm guessing your printer has like a ruby nozzle, ruby-throated nozzle.
Yeah, it's got the ruby nozzle in it.
Yeah.
What is it? An Olsen ruby nozzle or something like that.
And so that's designed because when you print something like carbon fiber or any other filament with particles embedded in it, it'll erode the throat of like a brass nozzle. So typically when you're printing anything that doesn't have fibers impregnated in it, you print with a brass nozzle, and those things are super cheap.
Okay. And then on that particular subject, is it even like worth it to try to 3D print a carbon fiber handguard? Anyone could jump in there. FlyingRich says no.
I don't think with the technology that we're using, the three of us are using right now, there may be some high-end stuff that would make it worthwhile.
Okay. Yeah, what do you think, Vinh?
I think that the cost of the filament for the carbon fiber itself doesn't justify the cost of printing one on commission. That'd be a really expensive, part to print.
Yeah. Does anyone know what a carbon fiber handguard just costs if you buy it from? I don't know if that price.
I think they're around $300.
300.
I think $200-300. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, because they used to be more than that in the beginning. To get that, so yeah, you're probably better off that way. Going that route.
So one of the things, 3D printing is kind of cool. This is just in my prototyping. Oh, where's my camera?
Right there.
So
your full screen.
Yeah. So I printed this to see if my design was good and I could print it without supports. So when I printed this, so this took like 2 hours. This took like 15 hours to print. So one of the cool things about 3D printing is you can prototype something scaled down. I guess you can do that with CNC machining also to see how your program runs. But the other cool thing about 3D printing, and this might be a good topic for somebody like Richard Hoffman, is you could do like a lost wax process, but a lost PLA process. Like this is printed with PLA. And so you could make a mold. You could print something, put it in plaster, make a mold out of it, and then melt aluminum and pour it in there and cast a piece if you need something stronger.
Okay.
So theoretically, you could print something like this as a mold, to do like the lost wax process, or in this case, lost PLA process, and have a product made in aluminum.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. Okay, that makes sense. There's people doing that in other industries. Let me ask Vinh this, because I like the fact that Space Cat that you had was so different and off the wall. I wish I could go to your. I still can't connect my phone to this thing. But what do you think about when you're getting into these guns? What inspires you to go in this direction and try to? Everyone else is just trying to print an AR-15 or something traditional. Why do you go the different route?
I go a different route mainly because I do have a creative side, and I try to express it when I'm not on the clock, or even when I'm on the clock. When I look at printing a gun, for example, I look at some I don't know, criteria. The first criteria I look at for a gun to print is it a viable model to print? There's a few parts such as whether the rails are embedded into the serialized component itself, or whether the frame has an abundance of parts. Those would be viable candidates for basically resurrecting all the abundance of parts kits that are online and constantly on sale on sites like EGP or Gunbroker. The other criteria I look for is it customizable? You know, for example, the Caltech CP33. You know, that's made. It's begging to be accessorized. It's a blank slate. You can make whatever you want for it. Same thing with other pistols, other rifles too. It's just the customization aspect of it. The third part is what kind of abominations could I make to utterly shock people?
Right. Okay. So that's so it's deliberate. It's deliberate.
It's deliberate. If you could pull up my Insta, now see if I can pull it up. I happen to get my hands on a NAA 22 LR revolver. And I just was like, oh, what if someone made an AR-15, pistol grip for it? And then I did, and it's horrible.
Yeah, let me hold on. Let me see if I can go. Hold on, hold that up. I'll go full screen. Let's see.
Hang on.
Yeah, go ahead. Show it again. I'm gonna try to pull up your Instagram here. Oh boy, yeah. Let's see if we while you guys are talking about this, I'm gonna see if I can pull it up because I can't do it through my phone, but I may be able to do this through. Trying to see if I could do it through. Oh man. Okay. Yeah, I've got to figure out a way to get in there and show the Instagram better than this. My apologies on that. Yeah, but you're deliberately trying to shock people. Is that just so you can show people, that the possibilities are endless here?
Yeah, it's your limitations are really how you can express yourself in whatever CAD program you use, and the limitations of the material you're using. That's what I want to demonstrate, and plus it's fun.
Right, absolutely. Okay, what do you so anyone else here, when you guys are thinking about what you're making, what's the philosophy of it? Richard Hoffman, is it just it's all practical to you, right? Because obviously this is what you do.
It's practical. I'm 3D printing is for production parts. It's still in its infancy. That's why I'm trying to get into it now, because I know what's coming. The Caltech CP33, is that what it is? Uses 3D printed parts. It was designed on 3D printers. I mean, they designed it and printed it before they even started cutting metal. And they're still doing design work for it, trying different grips and trying that kind of thing. I see a lot of the people, I want to print an AR receiver. And it's, I kind of look at it, it's not going to hold up, for what I'm doing, and if I'm going to sell this stuff, I want to be able to put through 5,000 to 10,000 rounds in one sitting as fast as I can and have that piece survive. If it doesn't survive, it's a total failure.
Yeah. How close do you guys think, so, for Vinh and FlyingRich that are doing more 3D printing, how close do you think we are to that where people will have some kind of level of confidence in what's being 3D printed?
I think the confidence is
material.
Yeah.
It's probably already there.
Okay.
If you can see on my board here, the green pistol and the yellow pistol right there, that's the FNS 40, and the one on top is the FNS 9 frame. That's a frame that you may have seen a video dropped by Print Shoot Repeat, where he did, $150 printed gun that works. The critical bits in these particular type of frames are metal. The locking block and the barrel, the fire control group, the bits that matter are still the same pistol. It's still the same parts.
Yeah.
And it's the frame that just holds everything together.
Yeah, so that part of it what I'm assuming that you're saying there about that is that part of it doesn't really matter because that's not dealing with any stress or anything like that, right?
Right.
Correct.
Yeah. So what do you think? What do you think about this, FlyingRich? That same question. Like, what do you think about when we'll be ready?
Yeah. So okay, the difference, it's kind of like I'll go airplanes. Like the first all composite certified airplane was the Beechcraft Starship designed by Burt Rutan and John Ronz, and they over-engineered it because nobody knew what the tolerances and stresses were. We're kind of in that area now. Everybody's first choice on an airframe is a composite, and their last choice is metal, aluminum. And I guess it's kind of like Glock. When Glock came out, everybody was running a metal frame pistol, and now almost everybody is making a polymer pistol. And the polymer, I think, is pretty analogous with the same relative size and strength and width, the construction. You can 3D print the equivalent. Now, one of the things we haven't covered on 3D printing is there's a bunch of different ways to 3D print. So what we're all talking about today is FDM. So it's like a hot glue gun, melting a weed whacker line and printing a line. Now, Vanessa Kitty mentioned laser sintering, and then there's what is the one where it's a liquid with a laser? I can't remember the term offhand. Vinh, help me out.
SLS?
No, resin printing, they call it.
Resin printing, yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah, there's SLS and resin printing. There's one guy on YouTube, oh gosh, where is he? The Portuguese guy, he always does Tesla-type stuff. He's been 3D printing like rocket motors, and highly unsuccessful or minimally successful, but it's just cool video to watch. And if you're interested in that stuff, so I think probably the best example, Vinh has one, and Vinh I was totally impressed with. One, whatever you saw, Hank, that he had out on the table at Iraq Veteran was nothing compared to what he had in his car. I went back.
That's what I heard. That's what I heard. Yeah.
And he showed me like a mad assortment of stuff. It's like, holy cow! It's like you could do a whole bunch of shows on what Vin's been up to. But the coolest thing I think in 3D printing is the FGC9. Vinh, why don't you talk about that?
Yeah, the FGC9 is let's start with the Mark 1, and I actually have it right there in the corner behind my reloading press.
Is it on the let me see, because I think I just found your Instagram here. So which one? Let's see, FGC9. It's on.
Click on.
I don't know if you can see the scroll. What am I looking at here?
Might be. I'm watching you scroll right now. I think. Let me scroll on my own screen too, just so I can find it.
Yeah. If someone sees it here, let me.
Oh, that's it. Stop.
There you go.
There it is.
The middle.
This gray.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Instagram's not gonna let me open it if I don't sign in. Bastards. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, you got
so something like that. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
So what you're looking at there is the FGC9 Mark II. This is a revision to the original FGC9.
Okay.
And the FGC9 stands for fudge gun control 9.
Yeah. You could curse if you want to. I mean, I don't know if you do or you don't. Yeah.
I'm trying to drop the habit.
Oh, okay. All right. All right.
So the gun was designed to be able to be made with hand tools and COTS parts in places that are restricted, like Europe or Asia. When I say COTS, I mean commercial off the shelf.
Okay.
So that's a gun that you could make the barrel with hydraulic tubing. You could print the fire control group even, weld the bolts together and find a spring, and with some metric nuts and bolts, you have a gun. And the amazing thing about the gun is that, aside from the fact that it can be printed and made anywhere, is that its ejection mechanism is really innovative.
Okay.
When it's a straight blowback platform, but there's no extractor, because it's straight blowback. When the round comes back out, there's a ejector rod that pivots on the side of the gun in the upper receiver, and it knocks out the spent round after you finish firing.
Okay, the shell casing. Okay. Okay. Yeah, so that's what makes it easy to work on. So I'm guessing BWE, Rich, you've worked on some stuff like that in the past, the traditional way, right? Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. So I don't know if that's coming in the realm of what you're of your thing that you're working on, or what. I mean, does any of this bring up any questions for you, or?
Not really. I mean, a lot of the stuff that I'm going to be doing with 3D printing is prototype work.
Okay.
Where it just shines in the gun industry. I mean, they've been doing it for, oh God, when did Ruger do what's the little, the LCP?
P3AT? Yeah.
Yeah. The little Ruger.
Yeah, you mean when they basically ripped off Kel-Tec? Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. I remember that.
But that and the revolver.
Yeah. They stole Kel-Tec's 3D model and then made their own version. Right. Yeah.
They were both 3D printed. I mean, completely.
Yeah. Rapid prototypes.
So they could get the size right and the feel right, and I think they printed half a dozen copies of each and just passed them around Ruger.
Yeah.
And, okay, write comments. What do you think? How's it feel? Is the grip too big, too small? Blah, blah, blah. And then they sent it up to Pine Tree Casting and had the parts cast.
Yeah. So I think that's a good point that Rich is making of where 3D printing is today, which is in the rapid prototyping thing. And then what we're trying to talk about is like, hey, will you be able to, sit at home, you want a particular gun, you kick that 3D printer off, it makes the gun, and it is durable enough, for you to use it, versus like what we're seeing in things that are out there. And I think I agree with Vin that, okay, it comes down to the parts, right? If it's the parts that are polymer, if that's not exactly where it's seeing the action or where it's being used, that's not an issue. But the parts that are metal, that's where we can't do it right now, right? Those parts have to be made the traditional way until someone figures out how to 3D print those metal parts and make them strong and durable enough. Am I in the right ballpark there?
I don't see 3D printing as the only tool in someone's tool set. I think it's a tool that can be combined with other methods. Like, Ivan the Troll has the ECM barrel process, electrical chemical machining. And so I believe it comes down to a matter of accessibility.
So, Vin, describe the ECM, what that means and how it works.
So, to my understanding, electrochemical machining basically runs a current through some wires, and in the water, or a mixture of sorts, water is being pumped through, and I don't recall this a solution or not. You have to put in
salt water.
Salt water. That's right. Salt water.
Yeah.
And so what ECM does is the electrical current comes through, and it strips off bits of the metal along the path, and the pump basically washes the material away from where it's being stripped off due to the current.
So
and that makes rifling. Go ahead.
Yes. All right. So you 3D print the fixtures. So the FGC9, you can electrochemically machine the barrel. So the actual barrel is like a piece of hydraulic pipe, so it withstands the high pressure. You then print a whole bunch of fixtures because it's not the right diameter for 9mm. So you then electrochemical machine it out to the right diameter. Then you electrochemical machine the chamber, and then you electrochemical machine the rifling. I might not have the order absolutely correct, so forgive me. But I think that's just cool as hell. It's just nutty cool that you don't need any kind of complex anything to rifle a barrel. You just take this, fixture that you 3D printed that has wires in it, like copper wires, and you just shove it down the center of the barrel, and then that electrochemically machines the rifling into the barrel.
Yeah. Yeah, I think potentially you could probably, there's going to be a future where you could do all of these things. I think where we're at right now, as BWE Rich is saying, you know, we could rapid prototype stuff. We can get it out there. If you're a smaller company, as Rich is, you know, and you want to put this in front of people and see if there's an interest in it, get a, you know, early investments and things like that going on what you want to make. Especially if you're going up against the bigger companies that don't want to make different things, right? Like we were talking about Glock. Glock doesn't want to make cool stuff necessarily, right? You know, so this gives smaller companies that opportunity to get in there, and that's exciting. Someone like Rich, who's been doing this for a long time, knows the inside workings of guns and things like that, has the tools to do a lot of it. He can make a rapid prototype. People are interested. He can now continue that process. There's also big companies doing it. And then, as Vinh is saying, though, like, this is where all the different things that people out there are doing to try to put an end to guns, to firearms, and our access to them, this is the proof that the genie is already out of the bottle, and, you know, you're not going to stop it, because people can go pretty far on their own, right? Without going to the companies.
Well, so now I always think it's crazy that the ATF wants to label fill in the blank as criminal enterprise. But one of the reasons I'm interested in building AR-15s, or you know, had an interest to build an AR-15, let me say it that way, I want to know how it works. So if the thing breaks, I know how to fix it. Like last event I went to in Texas, my AR-9 pistol, you know, failed, and so that evening I went back to the hotel, and on the sink in the suite, I pushed out the hammer pin and trigger pin and found that there was a primer stuck under the trigger, and that's why my, you know, AR-9 pistol failed. Okay. So this way you have a familiarity with it, you understand how it works. And what I always consider in science the happy accidents. Does anybody know the origin of Scotch Guard?
Scotch Guard? No, I don't.
Scotch Guard. You know what Scotch Guard is, right?
Isn't that the coating? Isn't Scotch Guard the coating for furniture, I think?
So Scotch Guard is a coating, and basically it's like water repellent. Nothing sticks to it, nothing stains it, and all that bit. So it's a fantastic product. The way Scotch Guard was invented was an accident. So one of the chemists at 3M dropped a chemical on his shoe and noticed, like, weeks or months later, that where that spot was, it didn't get dirty. He's like, and he looked through his notes and figured out what the chemical was, and that's how Scotch Guard was invented. And I think the problem with what goes on in the United States is we don't manufacture crap here anymore. And offshore, wherever it may be, they're the ones that are doing the manufacturing, and they're potentially the ones that are going to have the happy accidents in the future. So I think the cool thing is, like, you can 3D print anything you want, but when you start saying, hey, I can use 3D printing to make a tool to electrochemically machine something, I can use 3D printing to do a lost PLA process like lost wax, or I can do some other thing where, you know, it's like the second and third order thinking, where you're not just simply doing the print when it's doing something else. That's where I think it's brilliant.
Yeah, I would agree with that. You had to cut the AC on, Rich?
Yeah, the three-phase power.
Rich had to go cut the AC on.
I had to turn my power on.
Oh, yeah.
All of a sudden, my computer said, battery running low.
Oh, okay. I was like, yeah, what's up with that? Yeah, I think that's a good point that FlyingRich is making here. This is how we discover things, even like doing what Vinh is doing out there. Even though you might be doing it for shock value, which I think you're trying to get more and more people into it. There's going to be some cool stuff that someone's going to see it and go, like, there's a pretty good reaction to that video that I put up. You know, and mostly people are like, oh, that's cool, you know? Why wouldn't I rock with that?
I like the stuff that Vinh is doing. I like the stuff that he's doing a lot more than what a lot of the people, I mean, so many people, oh, I'm building an AR receiver. Who gives a shit? So's everybody else.
Yeah, like 1,000 companies.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, you got 1,000 companies doing it. You got 10,000 individuals doing it.
Yeah,
You
I don't
know.
mind. I don't mind people doing AR receivers, but can we flip it up? Can we make it
No.
different somehow? No. Yeah, there's got to be some way that we could, from what's already out there. So this is a couple of questions here for Vin, but let me do this one. JNY says, "What is Vin's favorite all-time build of his own design?"
Oh my gosh. I think my new favorite is the Scorpion 22. Let me see that Scorpion kit right there.
Let's see, Scorpion 22.
Yeah.
Oh,
that
oh
right
yeah,
there.
I see it. Yeah,
That's the 22.
yeah. Okay, that was on your Instagram also.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so let me ask you this. Richard Hoffman. What would you like to ask Vin? You know, what kind of stuff would you like to ask someone like him or FlyingRich? You know, I know you were making it. What was the problem with your print that you did? What went wrong with that?
One, I had the printer. I moved the printer onto my desk from where I had it, and it's right by the air return for the HVAC system. And you know, I felt it before, and it's like, okay, there's no draft here. Well, there's just enough of a draft where I got just a little warpage. Front to the back, I think I got, it's less than 1/16 of an inch warpage. You know, which, you know, the way I look at it, if it's not dead nut straight, it's a complete fail. Because I'm used to, you know, I machine something, you know, and it's dead nut straight.
Okay. So location was the big problem.
Yeah, I got to move it back to where it was. Try it again. I'll probably end up having to either get or build a box for it, which I knew getting into this that I would probably have to do.
Yeah. Dude Abide says, "Oh my God, air ruins 3D printing." I knew it. Well, let's talk about that.
Out.
Huh?
Don't leave your filament out for a few days; it'll dry up.
Oh, really?
Yeah. That's on the comment about air ruins 3D printing.
Oh, okay.
Well, depending. I mean, it's also hygroscopic, so it absorbs water. So you could have issues with that. So I have, in my office here, I'm sitting behind like a partner desk, and on the other side of my monitors, I have 2 3D printers. I don't actually like I don't like the smell so much, and I don't like the noise more. And I really either want to put them in my garage, or when my daughter goes back to college, put them in her room. And I have Raspberry Pis running as print servers. Do you use Octopi, Vin?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
So that's
essential.
What is that?
Once you go Octoprint, you can't go back.
Yeah, what is that? Explain that. But I also want to talk about location and storing of materials. But what is Octopi?
So no, go for it, Vin.
So it's basically a little print server that runs on the Raspberry Pi. Each instance of Octopi controls one printer, and if you're savvy enough, you can actually have one Raspberry Pi running multiple instances of Octoprint.
Yeah. So should I go search for Raspberry? Like, here's what I know about Raspberry Pi, because my brother, who is like a IT guy, has been for a long time. He's been into this. These are like little tiny cheap boxes that are basically computers that you can program to do a whole bunch of stuff in what is it, Linux or something? Okay, here we go.
Here's my Raspberry Pi cluster. It looks nothing like a Raspberry Pi, but
yeah, it's just
I'll show you.
But the actual thing is what? Just a board?
Yeah, it's like a little board.
This is what I'm working on. So it's basically a 4-board Raspberry Pi cluster with a 5-port switch in it. So it's going to be one power line and one Ethernet cable going in. But the individual board, that's, let's see, which way do I go? That's a Raspberry Pi right there.
Right, and you're trying to make it look like the Apple trash can. That's what EVM 153 is saying, right?
Correct.
Yes. Right. So that's your so my understanding of this is that's your computer that's controlling your prints?
Well, the cluster I'm doing something different for the Raspberry Pis that are running my prints, my 3D printers. I have it a case like this is a sleeve case, so the Raspberry Pi just slots in here. One of the things that Vinh didn't mention, Octopi. The cool thing about it is you can put a webcam and you can watch your print. I also have on my network Spaghetti Detective. So Spaghetti Detective can also watch for failures. It's an AI. So first off, everything, like all the important stuff on my home network doesn't phone home. It's just localized on my network. So I don't want other people's AI, like you could get Spaghetti Detective as a subscription. If you're printing, Harry Potter figures and all that bit, who cares? But if I'm printing stuff and I don't want other people to know about it, I want everything local on my own network. So you can also do a time lapse, which is very cool. So you can, if you want to do YouTube videos, in case you're a YouTuber, if anybody's ever heard of YouTube, you can post like your project on YouTube and show the time lapse of it actually getting printed, which is kind of cool.
Yeah. So, so Richard Hoffman, what are you using? I know LV Louis Cypher is asking what platforms does this software run on. What are you using as your computer? Since these guys are using like some obviously
I'm
homemade
using
stuff.
old gaming laptops.
Okay. PCs?
Because,
PC?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because because of my 3D modeling, I've had to use gaming laptops for the last, 10, 15 years. And my wife does a lot of genealogy, and the scanner she uses to scan the documents and stuff needs a gaming laptop because of the card and everything else. So when we replace a laptop, like I'm getting ready to replace mine, well, she'll probably get it and I'll get her old one. Is usually how it works. So I'll have another gaming laptop that, they're old, but they work for 3D printing just fine.
Yeah, and so
they got good graphics cards in them and a lot of memory in.
Yeah. So are you using what operating system are you using though, Rich?
Windows 10.
Windows 10. Okay.
Yeah.
Vin, how are you doing it? And can Mac be used, for example? Can someone do this on Mac? Because it has a lot to do with with whatever your 3D modeling software is, right?
Yeah.
Octoprint is really just a software that runs on any OS. I mean, I just happen to use a particular flavor for Raspberry Pi, which runs a flavor of Unix. So I mean, yeah, you have a spare computer, just install Unixware on it and can run it.
Yeah. Okay.
So there's a couple of components that we didn't talk about. So first off, Octoprint runs on the Raspberry Pi, which is Raspbian typically, but the interface, the user interface, is web-based. Just like a lot of things. So it really doesn't matter. Like I have a Mac I have a MacBook Pro that I'm using as a desktop basically. But if I'm walking around the house and I want to see how my print is going, or if I'm out, I could like VPN into my home network from my phone on a browser and take a look at the print and see how it's doing.
Okay.
Or if I walk around the house with my Chromebook, I can likewise pop open a browser, go to the Octopi page and see how the print is going, which is kind of cool. What we haven't talked about, so there's a couple of components. So you may have design where you're doing the 3D development of a custom product, and then you have the part where you actually slice the print, and that's basically it's taking the 3D design, the STL file that you may be using that you got from somewhere, whether you downloaded it from something like Thingiverse, and then you slice it, and basically the slicing is going to be controlling the temperature, the layer height for your specific printer. And I use a software called Cure, which is free, and Cure runs Mac, Linux, Windows, so it runs on everything. So you're not specifically stuck like, I need this operating system. So most 3D printing is kind of OS independent. You're not like, I have to have a Mac to do it. The design software is, again, highly dependent. I'm gonna make it like a shameful confession. I use Tinkercad, and I haven't graduated to something more sophisticated. I really need to.
What's Tinkercad?
So Tinkercad's an online software that's free. So the cool thing is, I can be doing 3D design work on my $200 Chromebook.
Mm-hmm.
So that you don't need some high-end machine, a hand-me-down
to do the
gaming.
Right. Okay. To do the stuff. What does Hoffman? What do you use? What's your 3D software?
I've got SolidWorks, Bobcad, and Fusion 360.
Okay. Okay. High-end stuff. What about you, Vin?
I work in just Fusion 360 because it's free.
Right. There you go.
Inexpensive.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a lot cheaper than any of the others, and it's every bit as good. It's probably better than a lot of them.
Right. Okay.
Really? Okay.
Okay.
I've had an experience where I was at a gun shop, and one of the sales reps, he was studying mechanical engineering or something, and he looked down on me for saying, "Yeah, I use Fusion 360." And I was like, "What's the difference?"
Because he's an idiot.
Read between the lines, buddy.
Yeah.
Well, you said he's an idiot, right, Richard Hoffman? You said Vin, you said he's trying to become an engineer. That's the problem right there.
Yeah. He doesn't know what he's talking about.
Yeah, that's his right there. Those damn engineers.
That's where you pull up your phone and show them your IG page and just start scrolling through. Say, hey, what do you think of these?
Yeah.
I did these.
Yeah. That guy will be.
I'll show you mine.
Yeah, that guy will be teaching somewhere while other people are out actually making shit. I like engineers. I'm not, I'm just trying to say though, this is how it goes. My dad is
Hank's dad.
Yeah, my dad. Yeah, my father has a master's degree in metallurgical engineering from Brunel. If you look it up, that's a big deal. You know what he made? Jack and shit. No, actually, he's
he
the
made
way.
You, Hank.
Well, I mean, you don't need a freaking degree for that. But well, I mean,
I would say something mean, but I won't.
Right. He's the person who introduced me to the lost wax method, for example. So there are things like that. I mean, but he wound up being a teacher. Some people are better being a teacher. He was like naturally gifted to be a teacher. That's kind of like in the family.
I need to call time here. This is kind of a unique moment. That man who's sitting in front of the BWE sign is an imposter. It's not Richard Hoffman. I know Richard Hoffman. Richard Hoffman has no filter.
This is true.
Yeah. He's just probably tired right now. That's what's going on, okay?
I'm going to get chemo tomorrow.
Yeah,
so.
The chemo is kicking his
I'm
ass.
psyched up for that.
Yeah. Yeah.
No.
Don't take this Richard Hoffman, for granted here,
Yeah, I get to sit in the chair for 6 hours tomorrow getting chemoed up.
Yeah.
And then I get to walk around with that stupid bag pump thing for 2 days.
Oh, boy.
I have a damn hose coming out my chest that I hook on everything.
Yeah, so listen, what questions do you guys have for Vin? Let's get into that. I'm trying to get you guys going on this. We brought Vin in for this particular reason. He's making cool stuff. What questions do you guys have for Vin? Come on, let me hear it. Let me see it. The people out there, Richard Hoffman, Richard Hughes,
okay, so
what you got?
Vin, what is the next space gat you're working on?
Ooh, the next space gat?
Yeah.
Yeah, what do you got in the works? What's exciting you?
I think the next thing that's exciting for me is how do I say it? See, I'm scared to mention specific things because immediately the parts will dry up like that.
Oh yeah, don't do that then. But tell me later.
that I've learned very recently, actually. And if I, there's actually like a whole, story.
Yeah,
I
but
could
okay.
tell
So
about
what parts are difficult to get in or what are important parts in the 3D printing world?
But my main focus is with parts kits that you can print and assemble instantly, right?
Okay.
The FNS, for example, I helped the developer TMS work on that design, and we decided to announce a public beta, and then print shoot repeat did a video on it. That instantly devastated any inventory out there. CDNN was the one that had the lower parts kit, which you can get for 30 or 40 bucks, and they had the slides for 100 or 130, depending on you get the long slide or short slide.
Because of demand.
Because of demand. Well, they raised the price by 20%, which is reasonable for an e-commerce site when they're experiencing demand, and they still went out of stock instantly. And then I discovered that there were scalpers on eBay buying up the kits and then trying to auction them or sell them by now for 400, which is over double of what the gun is worth.
So that sounds like a problem, but it also sounds like an opportunity to me, right? It sounds like a company, I don't know, maybe BWE Firearms or something. Someone could get into the business of making these parts that everyone needs for their 3D printing. That's
actually a niche that a lot of these new cottage industry companies are forming up. You have names like Avis Rails, Riptide, Math Corp. They're making rails and wind chime kits to help you complete your build.
Okay, so I was looking at the wind chime kit for the FGC9, and that was not cheap, but I was kind of surprised.
It's not cheap, but it's worth it in my opinion, because you're paying for the convenience of having all the parts already assembled, and you're paying for a commercially made rifle barrel.
Okay.
Yeah. Wind chime.
Yeah. What's the most most sought after part in 3D printing that like it's always sold out and people can't? Because I know that's a problem that we're running into too, of trying to do things and then you need to now get the parts for it. So I just want to know, what's the most? Is it barrels that are?
Probably barrels right now.
Parts kits.
Just parts kits. Okay.
Parts kits. So Glock parts kits. A stripped down Glock 19 commands a price of about $650 on every gun part. Right?
Wow. Okay.
That's pretty nutty. That's like more than the actual gun itself, right? Because people know that you use mine assemble.
Yeah.
High point C9 kits, they used to be able to be found for just 30 bucks. Now they're going for more than what a high point's worth, which is like 130. So like 1.3 high points.
Wow. Okay.
And I see that part kits are popular because they're so accessible. And once a parts kit for a gun becomes known that, hey, it's on a roster of guns that are eligible to be printed, their value just goes up instantly.
Yeah. So what are the most popular guns that that people want parts kits off of? Is the number one Glock?
Wait. Anything that who is it? Who did the FGC9 design?
Jay Stark.
Not who's the other guy? Why can't I think of his name? Not Control Q. Who's the next guy? Ivan the Troll. Anything Ivan the Control announces a design for, boom, then they're gone.
Okay.
You can't get the parts.
Devastation. High power kits, 1911 kits, just
high point 19. So basically those are the big guns that everyone's building. There, it's like those are the donor guns for these kits, or for these 3D prints.
Yeah, the parts kits themselves, they command the high price alone. I think all-time popular would be Glock and High Point.
Okay. Yeah, how difficult is it, Richard Hoffman, to make Glock kits and things like that? Have you thought about it, looked into that at all?
To me, it's not worth it.
Okay.
I'm not going to be able to produce enough of them fast enough to where it's, where it's going to be economical for me to do it.
Okay.
if I had a setup like Keltec, that would be a different story. You know, if I had, 50 machines sitting there, my mill has a 4,000 RPM spindle, Now most of the mills have 10 to 12,000 spindles, if not higher, if you want to pay the extra money. So you can machine a hell of a lot faster than I can. I'm thinking about making some guns, some parts kits.
Parts kits, yeah.
For 3D printed. But right now I'm so far behind in, just work that I do now. That, I got the idea, but whether I do it now or in 3 years, I don't know.
Right. What do you guys think is the easiest gun out there to become like a parts kit for a 3D print outside of the Glock? Is a Uzi easy?
Probably Tech 9.
Tech 9, okay.
I was going to say that.
Tech 9.
Tech 9s themselves command a high price.
Yeah.
I haven't been able to snatch one for a reasonable price.
What's a reasonable price on a Tech 9 nowadays?
They're nuts. It's a $50 gun they're selling for, $600 to $1,000.
Oh man, yeah, I've been trying to get a Tech 9. Really?
So
it's pretty nutty.
Yeah.
Richard,
Go ahead.
The metal parts on the Tech 9, so they're the lower part you can 3D print, but the metal parts on the Tech 9, how hard is that to build? If without a garage like yours, would I be able to 3D print fixtures to drill and template and stuff, or is it just impossible?
You can do the receiver. You're not going to be able to do the barrel, or not the barrel, but the trunnion. And
okay,
Tech 9s are kind of a weird bird because they've got a trunnion and the barrel is pressed into the trunnion. Some of them are all one piece. There was a couple of different variations. That's the one gun I'm looking at because they're so easy to make the parts for me. I've got a lathe, I've got a mill, I can make all the parts fairly quickly. The receivers are a piece of cake, or they're not the receiver. They should be the receiver, but they're not. The tube that the bolt and all goes in. The bolt is fairly basic. I'd have to have the firing pins made because I don't have a Swiss lathe, which is what you need to make those long, skinny pieces. Unless I can get a Swiss lathe, which I'd like, but it's one of those. And the price the Tech 9 parts kits are going for, it's worth it for me to make them.
Oh,
really?
For sure.
Okay.
I'm just I'm just so backed up on everything else right now.
You need an assistant. BWE.
I need a bigger shop, more equipment, and more people. I'm going to make some changes to it. I'm going to do the barrel and the trunnion more like an Uzi than with the Tech 9. So you just unscrew the barrel nut and replace the barrel. That way you can have different barrel lengths. You can have threaded barrels. You can have,
different calibers.
All kinds of stuff.
And that was going to be my next question to you, Richard, that, based on your knowledge, because you really thoroughly understand the metal machining process, the old school, and I don't mean to use that in the legacy word way, but the traditional way, let me say it more that way.
Right.
But because you understand both 3D printing and, CNC machining, that you're already thinking about a 3D printed optimized way of building something that I could order a parts kit for. And
basically I'm looking at it, fine, ATF wants to call this piece a receiver on the Tech 9. Fine, I'm going to make money off that. I'm going to take what should be the receiver and always should have been the receiver. I'm going to build parts kits, sell them, and you can either have a print available or just go online. There's a bunch of them.
Okay.
Yep.
And you can print your own receiver.
I love that. That's the coolest
can
thing.
Suck it.
Right. Go ahead, Vin.
I think that's where the industry should start, or at least should start heading into. Given that, not the fearmonger, given that there's a possibility that, more unconstitutional policies and laws could come into effect, companies would benefit a lot from making a design, putting it available for print, for personal printing, and then just selling the parts kits.
Yeah.
I mean,
and there's a lot less hassle selling parts than there is selling guns.
Yeah. Well, making accessories. Yeah, making accessories. Yeah. Unless but remember that's probably one of the reasons why the ATF is trying to say that they want to decide what a firearm is. Right? I mean, I don't agree with it, but this is the nonsense that they're up to. Yeah.
Who cares? Because all I'm going to do is change the design that much. Oh, it's no longer a firearm.
Yeah. Go ahead, Vin.
I think that's a really dangerous. Anywhere where it's like a vague, like broad range of like application of a law or scoping, that's just asking for a lot of danger. And yeah, no, it'd be a horrible idea for ATF to suddenly decide what's a frame and what's a receiver.
Yeah,
because it's if I recall correctly, it's already written in the law what is the criteria for a frame and receiver.
What they're trying to do is rewrite all that stuff. I mean, I'm with you guys on it, but this is the reason why they're trying to rewrite it. I think they I don't want to say they don't understand what they're doing. I think they get it. They're trying to see whether or not we understand what they're really up to, of what they're trying to push through, because there's one thing in front of us now that we get mad about, but it's the future of them going in there and going, this is a firearm, that's a firearm, this is a firearm, you can't do this, you can't do this, you can't do this. And that's where the point comes that you go, no, we're gonna completely ignore you guys. Go ahead.
So when you say they understand, I agree with you. I'm going to say David Chipman, who only had 25 years experience in ATF, I don't think he could make spaghetti if he tried to. I don't think he has the engineering skills to complete that task.
Right. Yeah, he's an idiot without a douut. He looks like
because nobody pretends.
He looks like Gary Busey on crack, on meth. And whatever other crazy.
And being not too polite for Gary Busey.
Yeah, it's really a crazy situation. But that, once again, that's all part of the plan, right? Throw a crazy person out there, see if you can get him in. If you get him in, you win because you got a crazy person up there doing what you want. If you don't, you can make someone look more reasonable and get that person in, and they do the same nonsense. So
And I want to ask.
Go ahead. Let's let Vin. Yeah, Vin, you got to jump in here with the guys. You got to jump in.
I try not to interrupt when speaking. I hate how politicized this hobby of ours is, and how political a government body has to be. They have an agenda to push, and they're pushing. The more they push, the more people are going to like bounce back and say it's not right. It's like when you squeeze Play-Doh in your hands, right? You can only squeeze so much before it starts oozing out everywhere. So if they're gonna do that, gun owners just one day gonna be like, okay, well, if putting a brace on my pistol means the same penalty as a machine gun, I may as well have a machine gun, right?
Yeah.
That's just it. What they don't realize is that there's a lot of people like me that's okay. So having a brace on this pistol is going to be a felony, and I'm going to get 10 years in jail. Well, guess what? Making 10,000 machine guns is going to get me 10 years. It probably won't even get me 10 years in jail. So I'm going to make 10,000 machine guns, and I'm going to sell them to any swinging dick who shows up. I was at a meeting with ATF, and they're running their stupid mouths about something. I looked in and I said, go ahead and take my freaking license. I don't give a shit. Because I'm going to be doing the exact same thing tomorrow that I'm doing today. And they're like, but that would be illegal. And I'm like, I don't care. I am playing nice.
Yeah.
And if you want to screw with me, fine, I won't play nice anymore. Because I don't care.
Richard is the epitome of being ungovernable.
Yeah.
No. Yeah.
I love it.
And now that I got cancer,
zero fucks.
I could care less, even less.
You're negative
what
10.
are you going to do to me?
Yeah, you're Rich is
Beware
now.
a man with nothing to lose.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
He's -10 on the fucks to give scale.
I think if the ATF ever, does something obscenely crazy, like pass some obscene ruling, like the ideal thing would just be to get a belt printer, one of those new belt printers from
Yep.
Gaudi, and just have it run like small little auto sear,
Constantly.
or I'm sorry, drop in lightning links, and then just have a bucket
You,
of them.
you
and just go
mean
forward and
coat
run chains.
hangers, coat hooks,
Yeah.
wall-mounted coat hooks.
Yeah, parachute them into every yard in America.
I'm gonna have a drone just fly over and drop them.
Yeah. Yeah.
Part of the squadron.
Yeah. I think you guys are right. I mean, when you try to see how far you could push the people, you often just go too far, man. That's how you wind up, you wind up getting body slammed on the concrete,
Yeah. Just
So
ask the British how that went when they tried to push it too far.
yeah, right.
We kicked their ass out of the country.
Yeah.
I'm generally surprised that there hasn't been a like, even with income tax or like the confiscation of gold in the 1930s. I'm generally surprised that there hasn't been like a very forceful response in that, hey, this is messed up. Me, as I was born here in America, but I was raised up in a very very Vietnamese household, and from understanding American history, us Americans have always had this spirit of defiance and spirit of liberty, and this makes me wonder where has it all gone,
I think there's a price for freedom and safety and security that people have enjoyed for a long time. There's a price for that. Like, people get complacent. Complacency.
Yeah, people
is
get
the problem.
comfortable.
Yeah. I think that's what it is. And I think it's like when you start seeing a lot of people, like how you said you were born here, but your parents probably came here to be free. I know that's why mine, my family wound up over here. I think you wind up seeing folks like us are more amped up and excited, or want to fight back or push back against this stuff, because we know we gave up a home, a place where everyone looked like us to come live here. So I think I get that, but there are people in America who feel that way. The question is, when are we going to see the pitchforks and the torches really come out and people really get mad and go, this shit has to end here. And when you look at how everyone reacted, including Republicans, to what happened at Capitol Hill, it's like, that's nothing. That's not a thing. Like, whatever they're mad about, that's not a thing there that actually happened. If there was like 10 if there were 10 really mad people in that crowd, it would have been a lot worse than that. So
Yeah, wait until we come and start building gallows on the mall and go into the Capitol and start hanging the bastards.
Oh man.
Well, first off, I want to give mad props out to Real Cujo. He just gave some money. You got to play the song, Hank.
Money, 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 money.
yeah. He says Richard with real talk. God bless you, sir. Thanks, Real Cujo. We appreciate that.
Richard.
Yes. Black Sword Shinobi says ATF can suck it. Yeah. At some point, Boss Hog says what BWE said. LV Louis Cypher says complacency and entitlement. Brian M says you win the internet today, Richard.
I'm trying to break it.
Yeah, Real Kojo says I'm not here, guys. Love you all, but back to the shadows for me. We appreciate you watching and listening. I think there will be a point in America where people are going to get that mad, and I don't think politicians care. I think they want to find out where the point is. It's too bad. I mean, it's because once you kick stuff off, you can't actually easily stop what you kick off.
Mm-hmm.
So I think we should start by tarring and feathering Fauci.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Right.
Yeah, I think we need to bring back tarring and feathering. And most people don't know what that really is.
Yeah, I mean, and it's not going to take that
I'd rather
much.
be hung than tarred and feathered.
Yeah, it's not going to take that much tar or feather either. That's a little tiny dude, with the
and I don't. So, I am absolutely not for violence. Let me get that out there, Joe. Just absolutely out there. Period. The politicians have zero fear of us, and I'm not saying they should be afraid of physical injury. They should be afraid that we're not happy. That's ideally how our government.
They're not entitled to be comfortable. They're not entitled to be comfortable.
Yes, yes. And I'm like I'm saying, I'm absolutely not for violence. I'm trying to be as polite as possible. They're supposed to be doing the governing at the consent of the governed. Laws are supposed to be passed at the consent of the governed. If you read any of the founding fathers' papers, that's what they all talk about. So all of this crazy backcrap, crazy stuff they're doing, all of these $1 trillion bills they're passing, they should be terrified of what we're going to do. They're they should be scared that, hey, that's not going to be cool.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Go ahead, Vin.
So these people in office, the thing that bewilders me is that these are public servants, right? They should be, I would say it, they shouldn't be making the kind of money they make. DC is a very expensive and opulent place to live. How are these politicians affording to live there, right? And I think we all know why. It's the lobbying, right?
Mm-hmm.
The politicians and the elected officials we have aren't doing our work. They're doing the corporation's work, and so, I mean, there's no reason for DC to be that expensive. Politicians ideally should just go there once every financial quarter or something to do their business and then go back home to their communities where they're served and elected from.
I don't even know in today's time why we even need DC. I don't really understand why it doesn't really need to work like that. But look, no one's going to change anything. We just saw what if you ever want anything to illustrate that people will not voluntarily change things in America, look at the last year plus 3 months. There's massive opportunity to go in and rewrite how schooling works, how a whole bunch of things work here in America and make it better, right? Like if the excuse all the way up till then was, oh, well, everything's in motion here, we can't stop it, they frickin' shut everything down. We should have come in and said, okay, we're changing schooling. This isn't going to function like this anymore. We're not going to do this like that. It just didn't happen. And we're still there trying to figure out what we're going to do. As a matter of fact, there's still places in America that are still shut down.
That's crazy.
So I think ultimately here, at some point everything has to burn down. The question of it that always comes up is like, well, so what are we going to do? One person on their own who tries to go for it here isn't going to get very far, but at some point there is going to come a point in America where people get really, really mad and then they push back against this. My suggestion is be prepared for that all the time. Enjoy. I'm not telling people don't enjoy like whatever life we're living, but always in the back of your mind, it could happen like that all of a sudden, and maybe not even people like us get mad. Other folks who've been feeding into this nonsense for a long time one day wake up and realize, you know what? This is bullshit. None of this stuff that we're doing is working for us. We're actually suffering because we're doing it, and they get mad and they start destroying everything.
Yeah. Sometimes a lot of the suffering people cause to themselves, like the whole self-isolation or the whole, oh, you're not wearing a mask thing. You're doing that to yourself.
Yeah. Yeah. Go.
The one thing that does scare me, if God forbid things ever like pop off or whatever, is what will other countries and superpowers do? As a Vietnamese American, the Vietnamese people are very well aware of like a certain large Asian power in Asia that has a history of oppressing other countries. So that's one fear that I have, that if things pop off, what's gonna happen on the international scope, right? Domestically, we'll probably be trying to figure out which politician did the most wrong, but internationally, people could be preparing for like an infiltration or even an invasion.
Yeah, I think without all the guns that we have in America, and without, that threat of there being a rifle behind every blade of grass, there's already countries who are obviously thinking about, all the goodies that America has to offer, right? And if they could somehow figure out to take advantage of that. I think in today's age, what we're getting is more, you know, we're getting people trying to hack into things in America and create a problem that way. But people actually parachuting in or landing on the shores and all that, I don't see that. I don't see that happening unless they actually achieve the goal of disarming America. If they disarm America, maybe.
So they could easily take over New York City and Los Angeles and those areas because none of them can have guns. So, you know, I encourage it.
Mm-hmm.
And most of the people in the
please
U.S.
take New York
who are
and
going
LA.
to defend the U.S. are going to let them. Go ahead, take it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Good. What were you saying, Vin?
No, I was gonna say you can have New York and LA. We don't like those places.
Yeah. Clean them up for us, thanks.
Yeah.
I keep saying we need to declare war on Mexico.
Yeah. Go
I
ahead.
keep saying we need to declare war on Mexico and then give them Californian reparations.
That sounds like a good idea. Can we get New York too?
Yeah. Listen, ideally, look, at some point here, we may have to take over these places, but this is the reason why we get into a lot of this stuff, right? Because, you know, they want to get bailed out. I wish that we had a system where they would not get bailed out. They would go into bankruptcy, and then they could just be taken over. And all that kind of nonsense could just be kicked out. But, yeah, this is not the way everything works anymore, right? But in people's minds, is New York City as important as it used to be? Is D.C. really that important?
No.
I don't think so. Me personally, I don't think so. I don't think we need those things. But I don't want, at the same time, I don't want anyone to come into a part of America and take it over, like, you know, whether it's D.C. or California. But, you know, I mean, maybe we would have a good reason to send New York City back to the Stone Age. You know, we could always do that. You know, rebuild. You know, you can always rebuild from zero if it gets level. But I don't know. I don't really think that. I don't think we're gonna see anything like that happening anytime soon, unless people get disarmed in America. If the entire thing gets armed,
disarm America. Shit.
Yeah.
You know, all the politicians are dead.
Mm-hmm.
Because there's going to be a lot of people like me who are just going to say, go ahead, Vin.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, sorry. I think you cut out a little earlier.
Yes. Yeah, say it again. Say what you were saying again, Rich.
You know, if they ban guns, you know, they just sign their own death warrant. Because there's going to be a lot of people like me. Fine, I'm just going to go make a trip to D.C. and start shooting politicians. You know, they want to see an insurrection. Oh, these people came and they walked around the Capitol building. You know, yeah, they banned guns. I'm going to walk around the Capitol building with a belt fed, and I'm just going to start executing politicians.
Yeah, Atomic Balls says, if you think people in New York City have no guns, think again. And let me just say, everyone on this show is welcome to their to say what they have to say.
Own opinions.
Yes, absolutely, absolutely. That doesn't mean we agree or disagree. But yeah, that's
Some
listen.
of us are a little more extreme than others.
Right, absolutely. But and I think the time is going to come, and I think that it's not even going to be folks like us who really get mad. That's what I said before. I'll say it again. I think that in a lot of different ways, because of how we all think, we live in places and we think in ways that, okay, we're going to be, as this stuff gets bad for America, it's going to affect all of us, but it's going to affect us less than a lot of other folks out there. Those are the people who were mad last year burning down cities.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And when they realized that everything that they did, defunding the police, doing this, voting in stupid-ass politicians like AOC and, you know, other folks who are out there, Ilhan Omar, all of that, they're going to realize that did nothing for them. As a matter of fact, maybe it made it worse or way worse for them. They're going to be the ones who get mad. They're going to be the ones who get really pissed off and indignant and go after these people, you know, and then most of us are just going to be sitting back there waiting to clean it up when it all goes down. So.
Yeah, we're going to be enjoying the show.
Yeah, we got a super chat here from
Money,
Optimus
money, money,
Vega.
money, money,
He says, God bless you, patriots, American flag, gun, shades, fire, fire. There you go.
And Optimus Vader is a squadron member.
Oh, that's another. Yeah, the squadron's growing, huh? What's
Squadron
the
rolls heavy and deep.
Yeah, what is the mascot for the squadron? Do you guys have a mascot yet? You have any kind of?
Well, okay, so Chris Illog is working on a patch.
He's working on a patch. I think that somehow you should incorporate Pebbles into the squadron mascottery. If we're gonna do that, listen. Let's do some show and tell. Can we show some cool stuff? You guys want to show some cool stuff? Okay, let's do. Yeah, we can. I mean, as long listen, as long as
Are we allowed to show stuff?
Yeah,
as long as it's plastic and non-functional.
We can show some. Look, I've got some stuff here. I'll start out by showing. I actually got this from Walter Keller from Safety Harbor Firearms, but it's not his thing. Here, let me see. I'm going to go to full screen on me. Check that out. That is. Let me see. Get it? Do you guys recognize what that is? What?
It's an upper.
It's a Fostec. It's a Fostec upper. It's magnesium.
Oh.
Ooh.
It's a magnesium.
Do you have the rail for that also?
This has a... See, so hold on. Let me show you the back. It's, what does it say? Magnesium aluminum tactical alloy construction. 1/3 the weight of its aluminum competitors.
All right.
So it's got a rail.
That's crazy. Did you see the rail at IV8888, the range day they had?
No, I didn't. That Fostec had?
They had a... Yeah, they had a rail, and it just... You thought it would float. It was so light.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So this is going into a build. So Walter actually donated this to a build that I'm doing, which I want it to be lightweight. And I'm going to show you guys. Hold on. Let me go over to that here. I'm going to take this out. I'm going to show you something. Also not a gun. YouTube. Check it out. Boom.
Ooh, sweet.
KP15.
The Barnauls polymer lower.
Yeah.
Yeah. Interesting.
Yeah. So this is the KP15 from K&E Arms. I got this from Barnauls. Big shout out to Barnauls. So yeah, so those two things are going to be going together somewhat like this, somewhat like, in this direction here. We'll be making a thing.
Ooh.
A thing will be coming together. I have some plans. I have some plans for this of what I'm trying to do. What I'm trying to achieve is going to have. So what I want to do with that is build something different. Keep it lightweight. I want to do an integrally suppressed rifle out of that. So integrally suppressed. Full auto.
Full auto. Gotta have a happy switch.
Yeah, in the future. Actually, I'm putting all these parts together that I'm going to send to Liberty Suppressors, and we're going to put together a lightweight, integrally suppressed rifle out of that. Should be nice. Should be nice. Not an SBR because it's going to have the suppressor welded into it, so it'll still come up to the. But obviously I have a suppressor, so probably just one tax stamp behind it. Maybe we'll get.
I'm so glad I don't have to do tax stamps.
What's the name of that trigger?
Form 2 and send it in.
Right. What's the name of that trigger that's out there?
The digital one?
No, not the digital one. What's the other one?
The binary one or whatever.
The one that it sounds like sweet music of the heavens when it's shooting. I forgot who's making that. Someone has it. It's a new trigger that's out. But when you listen to it, it's like a machine gun.
Oh, the force reset trigger. The force reset trigger.
Yeah. What is that called? What's the name of that company? I can't remember now. Their things have gone up in price. I think it's supposed to be $400, but it's like $800-900 or something.
People are scalping
just
those
drill
too.
a pin.
Yeah. Gen Champ says what caliber? It's going to be like 5.56. So I already have a 300 blackout integrally suppressed. So I'm gonna go rare breed from Brian M. Boom, you get the prize. Yes, I think it's the rare breed. Dan Hates You says rare breed FRT blah blah blah.
Blah blah blah.
So,
yeah.
what most people don't know is that FRT isn't the first to make. Sorry, Rarebreed isn't the first to make that force reset trigger design. There's actually another trigger out there that you can select into semi between semi and force reset mode. I'm not gonna mention the name because I don't remember, but also because I want the stock giant before I buy it.
Oh, oh, come on, man! You can't hold everything and not talk about it here. Listen, no one looks at this. You could talk about the. No one looks. No one listens to this, even though we're like the best Second Amendment podcast that exists. You know,
from a van, podcasting from the hacienda
in the Star Wars universe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, so I can look it up on my computer.
Yeah. So what? Okay. What cool things do you guys? Who has some cool show and tell stuff? Who's got something? Come on. Let's see.
I'm not allowed to
Hoffman,
touch it.
FlyingRich, you got.
I'm not allowed to touch any of the good stuff.
Yeah, I can't touch anything, so I guess I can pan my camera up. I can try to pan it up here. You guys can see.
Okay, here, let's go. Yeah, you got some cool. You got a lot of cool stuff there on the wall.
So I guess one thing really neat up there is the very top. That's the STR-15 with a printed upper receiver and printed barrel shroud. Rifle build 22 LR, printed magazine too.
Okay, so you like to do a lot of rimfire calibers.
I love rimfire. It's very cheap and a very wholesome.
Okay.
Caliber working.
Okay, so let me ask you this, Vin, for the folks out there who have not heard of you before, and we'll do this at the end as well. But if they want to follow you on social media or communicate with you, where are you? Can they meet you in real life? How do they communicate? Where do they see your stuff?
Yeah, so, I'm Vinh Nguyen. You can follow me. My handle is NGUYENKVVN. I have a Twitter, which I mostly crap post and make really bad memes and jokes. Also post gun stuff there. Instagram is the same handle. You can go there if you want to see just gun stuff.
Yeah, and I think we could scroll through the Instagram. Let me see, do I still have it up? Yeah, I do. Yeah, let me scroll through the Instagram really quick. I won't be able to click on anything here, but I'll scroll through it so you guys can see what it looks like. So it's NGUYENKVVN.
Yep.
That's how you, and I recommend everyone go there. This crazy looking, is that an NAA you said?
It is.
Yeah, NAA with a pistol grip. There's the wall right
there. Does it fold into the grip?
Yeah.
It does not.
Yeah, I see. Is that a Supreme High Point?
Yes, my friends have this tradition where we all get together and buy each other birthday gifts, and we decide to torment each other with whatever gift we're gonna get every year. So.
Yeah, and then something. What's this with the Riptide rails? Is that a 320 or what is that?
That is coming pretty soon. That is an M&P shield, just a regular single stack.
Oh, a shield. All right, okay.
But it's been made similar to the ASP in Devel back in the late 20th century. There's a window for you to see your magazine count, and there's also a front trigger guard has a little knurl on it to help keep your grip down, as well as a finger rest on the side of the frame.
Okay, cool. Yeah, some cool things on here. I'm gonna keep scrolling. Did you make your own in-house shooting container? Is that what's going on there? You made your own.
That's a 55-gallon drum.
Bullet trap.
Yeah, it lives in my basement.
Okay. And where are you for the ATF to come get you? What's your?
They can come get me anytime. I live in Atlanta.
Yeah, okay. There you go. We need to actually get together in real life and do some shooting. Do you ever come down to Florida?
Yeah, what part of Florida are you in? I usually drive down, visit family and whatnot.
Yeah, we're just outside of Gainesville.
Gainesville. That's
North Central.
North Central.
Yeah. Off 75. From Orlando, about 2 hours.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah,
about 2
hours
up
easy.
to your place.
Yeah, it's right off I-75. So if you're leaving Atlanta, you go through a crap ton of traffic for 3 hours, and then when you get out of Atlanta on 75, after you pass all the cops that are trying to give you tickets from Georgia, it's just a little bit down the road, and you'll be here.
GSP don't play.
Yeah,
State Patrol does not play.
No, man, those guys are ridiculous. ridiculous out there. But yeah, so maybe we should make some plans and do something. We all get together. You could bring some of your guns. We'll do videos and shoot out. Someone will make some food. I volunteer at FlyingRich.
I'll cook filet mignon with the red wine reduction sauce. But I know Lola's a fantastic cook.
Yeah. Yeah, Lola's not going to cook.
But
for
I'm
you
happy
people.
to jump in.
Yeah. Yeah, Lola's not cooking for any of you guys. Lola don't like you. No, I'm just kidding. That's not to you, FlyingRich. You know, everyone thinks Lola is so awesome, but she is awesome. But no, but Lola doesn't.
She puts
like
up
you.
with you. She's got to be awesome.
No, that's just.
Do you know?
I hypnotized her a long time ago.
People were remarking about that at Iraq Veteran. They're like, "How'd Hank end up with her? She's like."
The big
She's
schlong.
here on the scale.
No, the big schlong,
And
man.
somebody actually said that.
What? Said what?
I didn't say that. Somebody
said. Someone said what?
What you said.
Yeah, this is the big schlong? For sure. Yeah, that it's the Mandingo Schlingo.
Yeah.
I know a lot of people wonder like how did I get so lucky? Yeah, everything. I say this all the time on the podcast. Everything has a price.
She needed a tax write-off.
Oh boy. Smash Time says Lola is the most amazing person in the whole world. Oh my God, there's a lot of schmoozing going on here. The Armsman. Yeah, the Armsman says I don't think there would be a Hank without Lola.
Nope.
You know, absolutely not. Lola's awesome. She's amazing. I can't lie about that.
Is she blushing?
You
We
don't
got her
deserve
blushing.
her.
Who, Lola? I don't even. She's not here. So
No?
yeah, Lola knows she's awesome. You guys don't even need to be nice to her. How about me? How awesome am I? Anyone? No?
You're the
Not
best,
very.
Hank.
I don't believe you guys. You're all bastards. Vin, I believe. Vin was genuinely. He thought it was cool to meet me. The rest of you, whatever. It's all good.
Yeah, we know you. That's
Yeah.
it's not like we meet you
give
for the
him
first
time.
time. You know.
Right.
You know, next time he comes on the show, he'll be just like us.
Right. Probably.
Yeah.
Probably. So
We'll
listen.
corrupt him just right.
So I know that BWE wasn't wasn't okay. Smash Time says she actually has a halo above her head at all times. Wow, Smash Time is
He's going for it.
Yeah, he's a smooth talker. That guy, you gotta be careful, man. Was he from Houston? He's one of those Houston pimps.
He said he's going to be driving out to the next Iraq veteran shoot,
Oh, okay.
and he said he's taking the GTR so he can give me a ride in it.
Yeah, didn't I see Smash Time somewhere? Where was Smash Time?
Yeah, he was at Iraq veteran.
Yeah, okay, that's what I thought. Thought I saw him there.
Erect veteran.
No, Iraq
Iraq.
veteran. Yeah, Iraq veteran. Did you have fun?
Oh,
Do you don't know what we're talking about? I think that chemo's getting to some of your brain cells.
I think I like that name better than Iraq veteran.
Iraq?
I think Iraq veteran would have been better.
Oh boy, don't even start shit.
Then he could have done porn too.
Yeah, crazy. No, please don't put those pictures in my mind. What's wrong with you?
Is your channel monetized, Hank? I think we want to try to keep the monetization.
Not anymore. It's not.
Listen, YouTube has so many red flags on my channel. It's not even funny. Crazy Scotsman says Vin will open up eventually and won't be so shy. So there you go.
Oh, I'm sorry. What?
No.
Hey,
So
you can ask me anything and I'll answer it.
yeah. So tell us what was the cool stuff you saw. Like the cool stuff I saw at the IV 8888 event. And shout out to everyone who was there. I saw some cool stuff there, and some of the things that you had. But what did you see, Vin, that was cool there? Tell us.
Ooh. Well, I actually saved some business cards of some of the people that I ran into there. I was surprised that there was a local company called Alpha Foxtrot. Local meaning Duluth. That's basically like KBBQ and like Asian food mecca here. That they made 1911s and 9mm locally. And
was it what? Say that again. Was it Alpha Foxtrot?
yeah, and I got to try some of their pistols, and they're pretty neat. And pretty value price too for $1,200 for a good 1911. I thought, wow.
Yeah. What was the name
I'm
of the guy? What was the name of the guy that was there for? Because I did talk to that guy. He's pretty cool, and I think that's the guy who does a lot of their designs and stuff like that.
I think
I can't
Joshua
remember.
Y. He was the director of sales.
Yeah, but he does some designs and different things like that also. Yeah, he's cool. We need to get him on the show. Actually, there was some cool things I saw on the show. I don't know if Lola is even listening right now. There was a company there that was making, we're talking about 3D printed stuff. They're making 3D printed loaders. Lola, if you can hear me in the house, if you could bring those loaders out here, I could show the people. What was it, Hijack or something?
Mean. I think it was Mean Arms.
No, there was another booth, like towards that end, but not like 3/4 of the way down towards Mean. There was a booth.
Yeah. I think it's Hijack or something like that.
I think it's Hijack. I think you're right.
Thing, right?
Huh?
Hit the whole incense thing going on.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, I think that was it.
Loaders. Yeah.
Yeah. They can make a loader for any kind of magazine that's out there. They had like AR ones. They had different pistol ones.
And they were giving them away.
Yeah, they were 3D printed. I don't know. Lola's probably. Let me see. No, I can't text her. She just brought her phone in here in case we lost the bandwidth. Okay. So what else did you see that was cool, Vin?
The digital trigger's pretty neat. It was nice to see a Fostech Origin in person.
Oh,
I got to talk to them a little bit about what happened with the whole, firearm AOW thing, and it was just the ATF being the ATF, of course.
Yeah, Judd's a cool dude.
Bad for them.
Yeah, Judd and his whole family. There's a lot of people in the family that work for Fostech. All those people are cool. I like those guys. And Judd's been out here on the Hacienda before with that Origin, and it's a badass gun, man. Ooh. I know there was some issues because they did a pistol version, and I think in this new proposed rules, those would not even be allowed, right? Like shotgun. We were talking about it yesterday.
Like the shockwave and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
The checklist I noticed says rifle barrels only.
Yeah, there's some other things in there, I think, because I know that when Crump was on yesterday, he was talking about that. So yeah, we got to push back on.
That's gonna make a lot of things. Make a lot of gun owners instant felons.
Yeah. Oh, here he goes. Lola says Hilljack Quickie Loader. So if you can bring those out for me, Lola, and then I will show those off to the people. I'm gonna try to get those guys on the show. Why'd you laugh at the Hilljack Quickie Loader? You like that? Think that's funny? Do I amuse you?
No. The fact you just called out to Lola, like Lola, can you come bring me X, Y, and Z? It's like,
yeah, woman. This is how. Let me just. I know you're young. This is how you gotta do it. Bring the loaders, woman. Let me see. Okay. When she comes in here, she'll have something to say. You guys just pretend, just pretend you don't hear whatever Lola says.
Are we gonna see her coming out behind your head?
Okay, so let's see. Richard, let's go to. Did you have anything else cool that you saw out there? I know you were shooting a bunch of stuff. I saw you shooting things, but let's see what FlyingRich. What did you like out there?
So I'll tell you what's most amazing to me is it's not huge, the area. But it's so easy to pass by things, and each time I'm there, I'm like, "That was there, and I missed it." Century Arms had the AP5, so their version of the MP5, and I didn't shoot it. I shot like their PSL. I shot a couple of other things on the table next to the AP5, but didn't shoot the AP5. I totally missed the digital trigger, which was totally cool. Mean Arms has the ball bearing delayed blowback 9mm upper for an AR, which was very cool. I'd love to get a T&E on that and check it out.
Lola's throwing stuff at me. Is that all? There's 3 of them.
Watch out for the brick.
Huh?
That's all I see.
Oh, okay. Well, you need to put your glasses on. Find the other one.
Ooh.
Okay.
Ooh. Here comes the brick.
She didn't even hear that.
I would.
Yeah.
That totally wouldn't fly in my house.
Yeah. She didn't even hear me. Let me tell you.
They pretend that way.
You know what the secret is? Have you ever seen, what is that Eddie Murphy movie, Norbit? Have you ever seen Norbit?
I gotta watch it again.
Yeah, you gotta look at Norbit, man. It's real funny. So in Norbit, he's so scared of his wife that his wife puts him like in the basement, and he's so frustrated, he wants to scream. He goes like this. He doesn't make any sound. He just, you know. The trick is you've got to say stuff that your wife doesn't hear, and then go, what? I don't know. I didn't say anything. I don't know what you heard. Did you find it? Oh, I see your glasses are working. Congratulations. Okay, there you go. All right, so here's the thing. Let me show you guys this real quick. We'll get back to what Rich was talking about here. So here is, come on, let's get this to focus. There we go. Hilljack Quickie Loader. Ba-boom. And this particular one is, what is this? QL9.